So we have a lot to say about this. Anyway, so I would say the biggest thing coming from SmackDown last week was I don't even know what kind of words you could use to describe it, but for
It
the most
was
part,
let's go with interaction.
it was
That's
interesting.
exactly
Yeah.
I'm saying just it was an interaction.
Yes, this
That's all
interaction
that was.
between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte created quite a bit of controversy.
It was wasn't the number one thing because CM Punk, Roman, Seth was number one, but if there was a 1B, this was it.
Yeah.
Charlotte and Tiffany went back and forth on the mic and had another promo battle, and it went off script very quickly. Tiffy put Charlotte in her place, calling her out for pretty much everything jabs, and Charlotte just like I watched that segment like 4 times. Like even when I was driving home from work, I just had it on like I was listening to the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and Charlotte's interaction with Tiffy throughout this whole thing has been so infuriating to watch because of how talks to her. Like, it's one thing to, you know, make your opponent feel weaker and smaller by doing it in, I don't want to say proper way, but there's a right way to do it where
Mm-hmm.
you both are getting over and, both enhancing the story. Where
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte is just straight up doing this to boost her own ego.
It's because
Like,
she
though, I
legit.
hate the what? Like, what do you say? I can't hear you. What? Like,
It's
and
because
talking over, like, oh, it's
she
freaking
legitimately
awful.
believes that she's better than Tiffany. That's why. Like, and if we're talking about professional wrestling, you should be better than her, girlfriend, because you've been at this a heck of a lot longer than she has, you know?
Yeah. It's
Um,
in your blood.
yeah. But yeah, I think the debate over who went off script first is irrelevant because none of
It
us
doesn't
will know.
matter.
First of all, none of us even know if they did go off script, you know? Like that whole idea like is ridiculous to me because we will never know. So why are we putting it on one person or the other? But I do think it's more ridiculous to assume it must have been Tiffany when how many times has Charlotte done this? Let's like not forget about her actually like physically hitting Nia Jax in a match. Okay. Let's not
Yeah.
forget about her doing that women's title exchange with Becky and deciding
Oh,
that she
yeah.
didn't want to hand it to her. She was just going to throw it down on the ground. That wasn't, neither one of those things were supposed to happen. Like, let's not, act like Charlotte is this innocent victim here. Okay. Like, she has a reputation. I don't know if it's in the back, but it's at least, the fans have noticed that, like, when she doesn't like a situation, when she doesn't like an opponent, you
Oh,
pick it up.
100%. You can pick
Everybody
it.
can see it. And this is that feels like that dynamic, which is weird because the two of them were like buddies. It felt like they were pushing for this match years ago. And now it's happening and you're like, what's going on? Like it's definitely not living up to the hype that I think a lot of us were hoping for. Um, like we thought that this was going to be a killer match and it still could be, but with Charlotte's attitude, I don't know that we're going to
Mhm.
get that. But I will say this because I think that Tiffany is getting dragged a little bit too much. Um and I know I'm not a Charlotte fan and I don't agree with everything that people are saying about her, obviously, but I think that people are too quick to protect Charlotte when she is a repeat offender. And this idea that people have sold themselves on that Tiffany Stratton, who's only 25, has only been on the main roster for like a little over a year, would
Mhm.
randomly decide to go off script, go into business for herself, hit Charlotte where it hurts for no reason other than just decided on the fly is ridiculous to me. Like, if we are talking about people who are protected by those behind the scenes, it's not Tiffany over Charlotte. Tiffany
Well,
could have potentially ruined her future in WWE by doing that. and not being told to, or not
Mhm.
being, whatever. Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
To me, this felt like Tiffany was getting revenge for Charlotte pretty much burying her
Mm-hmm.
in that via satellite interview. This felt like Tiffany was getting her shots in for what Charlotte did to her, kind of like a comeuppance,
Mm-hmm.
payback, karma. And Charlotte couldn't handle it. That's what I mean. Like Charlotte
Same
was
with the
getting
crowd.
booed.
The
The
crowd,
boo-
she
the
couldn't
crowd
hang.
was she
But
could not hang. Like that was she could not stand
But that's
the
another ego
crowd.
thing.
And
Because, girl,
yeah,
you've been in WWE for so long. You've been a heel multiple times. Like, why is a Chicago crowd rattling you that bad?
it was bad. It was bad.
But
It
that's
was
the
it was
thing,
not
too.
good.
The thing is like, I think that people are sick of Charlotte, and that's going to explain why people were not thrilled with her coming back in general at the Rumble. But I think that they're even more sick of the fact that every single time in the past like 3 or 4 years that she has gone, whether it be injury, whether it be getting married, whether it be going on vacation, whatever, she comes back and either immediately wins the women's championship, or she's immediately a contender for the women's championship. And that's exactly what happened by her coming back and winning the Royal Rumble. That's what people are sick of, because it's like, that's not fair. That's not okay. And you are not like God's gift to women's wrestling. At this point, you're like super overrated, because like your ego is not matching what we're seeing from you. Like, you can't even cut a promo, girl. Like,
Mm.
you couldn't even sound better than Tiffany. And Tiffany is a PC product. The girl's been wrestling for like 3 years. You couldn't do better than her on the mic?
It was
Not
bad.
not great. Not
Not
great.
great, Bob.